Imagine this. You walk into a store, eyes scanning the shelves. Amid the clutter, one product pulls you in. You feel it. Not just interest, recognition. As if that brand knows you, speaks to you. That moment is no accident. Carl Jung, the Swiss psychoanalyst who gave us the concepts of the shadow, the anima, and the collective unconscious, proposed something revolutionary. Archetypes are universal, archaic symbols and images that derive from the collective unconscious, and are the psychic counterpart of instinct. What does that mean for branding? It means we're not just buying products, we're aligning with symbols that have existed across cultures and time. The hero, the sage, the outlaw, the lover, each representing a fundamental human desire. These Jungian archetypes are the mythic roles we play in life, and the roles we look for in the brands we trust. A brand isn't just a name or logo. It's a storyline, a personality, a mirror to something buried inside us. That's why effective branding doesn't sell a product, it activates an archetype. Archetypes in branding. The silent signal, think of Nike. Is it just a shoe company? Or does it tap into something deeper, a warrior-hero archetype that pushes us to just do it, to conquer, to persevere? Think of Apple. Is it just tech? Or does it embody the creator archetype, inviting you to think different, to express, to innovate? Jung's archetypes are the building blocks of myths, and now modern marketing, used strategically, they create emotional resonance. Used unconsciously, they still shape your brand, whether you realize it or not. The unseen power. Archetypes as emotional code. We like to think we're rational consumers. But beneath logic lies an emotional algorithm, and archetypes are its coding language. Each archetype speaks to a deep longing. To belong, the everyman. To transform, the magician. To protect, the caregiver. To rule, the ruler. To escape, the explorer. When your brand embodies one of these, it doesn't just appeal. It calls out to people's inner narrative. You're not just selling, you're summoning, and when you understand the archetype you're channeling, you stop guessing and start connecting. Why this matters more than ever. In an era of infinite choice and endless scrolling, attention is scarce, but emotion is rare. Gold. People don't want more features, they want meaning. They want to feel understood, to feel like their purchases are part of a larger identity, to be part of a story that matters. That's what Jung's archetypes unlock. They give your brand a voice that echoes not just in the market, but in the collective unconscious of your audience. So if you've ever wondered why your brand feels flat, why your message isn't sticking, or why you're not attracting the loyal following you know you deserve, the answer may not lie in your strategy, but in your symbol. Archetypes aren't abstract theories. They are emotional blueprints, encoded in every myth, film, and movement. And in branding, they are strategic personalities waiting to be embodied. Carl Jung identified many archetypes, but modern psychology and marketing typically focus on 12 core brand archetypes. Each one fulfills a basic human motivation, the kind that drives connection, loyalty, and action. Let's walk through them, not just to define, but to feel them. The explorer desire, freedom, adventure, discovery. Brand voice, brave, restless, authentic. Example, Patagonia. The explorer brand calls to those who seek the wild, the unknown, the unmapped. It thrives on authenticity, ruggedness, and a sense of movement. Patagonia's commitment to environmentalism and adventure gear makes it more than a company. It's a call to roam. Your audience, restless souls, outdoor lovers, independent thinkers. The creator desire, innovation, expression, imagination. Brand voice, visionary, artistic, unconventional. Example, Apple. The creator brand isn't selling a tool, it's offering a canvas. Apple, through design and ethos, invites users to think different. It's not just tech, it's a movement of makers. Your audience, Artists, designers, inventors, nonconformists. The ruler desire, control, order, leadership. Brand voice, commanding, luxurious, strategic example, Tesla. The ruler brand exudes power, direction, and prestige. Tesla is more than electric cars. It's a symbol of dominance, innovation, and vision. It frames the future and rules it. Your audience, leaders, visionaries, status seekers. The innocent desire, happiness, safety, simplicity. Brand. Voice, honest, pure, optimistic example. Coca-Cola, the innocent brand, evokes joy, nostalgia, and emotional comfort. Coca-Cola's ads don't sell soda. They sell a feeling, often anchored in childlike wonder or moments of simple joy. Your audience, idealists, family-centric consumers, those seeking positivity. The hero desire, mastery, courage. Triumph brand voice, bold, inspiring, relentless. Example, Nike doesn't just sell shoes, it sells greatness. It stirs a deep yearning to overcome, to push harder, to be more. The hero brand ignites the fire within. Your audience, athletes, strivers, warriors. The sage desire, understanding, truth, enlightenment. Brand voice, wise, informative, insightful. Example, Google. The Sage brand offers clarity in a chaotic world. Google's search bar is a symbol of modern knowledge, instantly accessible, seemingly omniscient. Your audience, lifelong learners, thinkers, researchers. The lover desire, intimacy, beauty, pleasure. Brand voice, passionate, sensual, heartfelt. Example, Chanel. The lover brand appeals to desire, emotional and physical. Chanel weaves luxury with romance, fashion with seduction. It's not just about looking good, it's about feeling irresistible. Your audience, romantics, aesthetes, pleasure seekers. The magician desire, transformation, vision, spiritual power. Brand voice, mysterious, transformative, inspiring. Example, Disney. The magician brand changes the world, or you. Disney is magic, literally. Its branding makes dreams feel real and impossibilities feel tangible. Your audience, dreamers, seekers, transformational leaders. The everyman desire, belonging, connection, reliability. Brand voice, friendly, relatable, humble. Example, IKEA. The everyman brand wants to make life easier for everyone. IKEA's message isn't luxury or prestige, but accessibility, simplicity, and community. It's a brand that says, you belong. Your audience, middle-class families, practical thinkers, community-minded consumers. The caregiver desire, service, compassion, protection. Brand voice, warm, nurturing, trustworthy. Example, Johnson & Johnson. The caregiver archetype is the emotional balm. Johnson & Johnson promises safety and care. Its brand story is one of protection, especially for the vulnerable. Your audience, parents, caregivers, helpers, medical professionals. The jester desire, joy, humor, spontaneity. Brand voice, playful, quirky, light-hearted. Example, Old Spice. The jester brand isn't afraid to be weird because fun is the goal. Old Spice redefined itself through ironic humor, absurdity, and viral joy. It's unforgettable because it's ridiculous by design. Your audience, youthful spirits, disruptors, humor lovers. The outlaw desire, liberation, rebellion, revolution. Brand voice, bold, aggressive, uncompromising. Example, Harley Davidson. The outlaw doesn't follow the rules, it burns them. Harley Davidson's appeal is raw and visceral. It's a symbol of rebellion, of not giving a damn and meaning it. Your audience, rule breakers, rebels, anti-heroes. Archetypes are more than style. They're strategy, a brand. Without an archetype is like a story without a protagonist. It may function, but it doesn't resonate. These 12 symbols tap into the unconscious mind of your audience. They trigger emotional intelligence, guide brand storytelling, and build self-aware identities that inspire trust. But which one is yours? That's where we go next. You've met the 12, each one a lens into human behavior, each one a myth that speaks not just to us, but for us. But here's the truth. Not every archetype is right for every brand. The real power comes from discovering your brand's true psychological voice and ensuring that voice is heard by the people who need to hear it most. Let's uncover how to do just that. Find your inner compass. What does your brand stand for? Before you can claim your archetype, you must get radically honest about one thing: your brand's core values, not your slogan, not your market category, but your essence, the emotional truth you embody. Ask yourself, what emotional transformation do we promise? What kind of future are we helping our audience move toward? What fear or frustration are we helping them resolve? A brand that eases pain and offers protection may be a caregiver. One that invites bold transformation might be a magician. If your goal is to bring joy and levity, the jester may be your archetype. This isn't surface level, it's shadow work. You're not inventing a personality, you're unearthing it. Who are you really talking to? Your brand isn't just about you, it's about them. Your audience, your tribe, your mirror. To choose the right archetype, analyze the emotional needs of your ideal customer. Ask, what do they fear most? What do they crave, secretly or openly? Which kind of story do they long to be part of? Let's say you're speaking to overworked parents. They may be seeking trust, simplicity, warmth, pointing to the caregiver or innocent archetype. If your audience is made up of innovators, rebels, or misfits, they might resonate with the outlaw, the explorer, or the creator. A misaligned archetype creates dissonance. But when your brand archetype and your audience's psyche match, that's where emotional connection becomes inevitable. Align your inner and outer voice. This is where many brands fail and where great ones shine. You can't just declare your archetype. You must live it. In tone, visual, service, storytelling, even product design. Let's say you identify as the ruler. That means your language must be confident, structured, and authoritative. Your visuals must evoke order, prestige, clarity. Your customer journey must reflect competence and leadership. But if you sound like the jester while branding as the sage, your message collapses. You lose trust, and trust is oxygen. True branding is embodied psychology. Consistency is what turns an archetype into an experience. The myth you tell and the myth they want to hear. Every brand tells a story, but every audience is also living one, and they're looking for allies, guides, and mirrors in that journey. If you can position your brand as a character in your customer's inner narrative, you don't just gain attention, you earn a place in their psyche. Example, if your customer sees themselves as a hero, be the sage who offers guidance if they feel lost or broken. Be the caregiver who brings safety if they crave rebellion. To be the outlaw who gives them permission. In branding, your archetype is your role in someone else's story. Tools to help you identify your brand archetype. Not sure where to start? Here are practical ways to discover your archetype. Run a team workshop using Carl Jung's 12 archetypes as a quiz or prompt interview your audience. What emotions do they associate with your brand? Conduct a brand audit. What is your tone of voice? What imagery do you use? What's your origin story? Reverse engineer your competitors. Which archetypes dominate your space and which are missing? Then choose one primary archetype and, if needed, one supporting archetype, but never more than that. Confused brands are forgotten brands. Clarity, identity, treating power. She paused, fingers tracing the symbol carved into the page, a mark older than memory. If any of this resonates, leave a sign, a thought, a trace of you, before the mask hardens again. Comment below. What archetype does your brand embody and why? Let's name the symbols. Let's unmask the brands that live within us. By now, you've identified your brand archetype, the emotional DNA that drives everything from tone to transformation. But knowledge alone doesn't create connection. Story does. A brand without a story is like an archetype in silence. To resonate, you must give it voice. To build loyalty, you must invite your audience into the myth. Let's explore how to craft an archetypal brand story, one that isn't just seen, but felt. The story framework: myth, emotion, and identity. Every powerful brand follows the structure of a psychological myth, a problem or desire, the audience's inattention, a guide or promise, your brand's voice and offer, a transformation, what the brand helps them become. This is the classic hero's journey, mirrored in storytelling and brand psychology alike. But in branding, your customer is the hero, and your brand is the archetype that empowers them. Let's break this down using the archetype of the sage. Your customer feels lost in a sea of information. Your brand shows up as a wise guide, clear, calm, grounded. Through your product or content, they gain insight, clarity, confidence. Result: emotional trust, identity alignment, brand loyalty. This structure applies whether you're the jester, the ruler, or the lover. It's not about selling, it's about helping them complete a story they're already in. Show, don't just say. Expressing archetype through storytelling. Storytelling isn't just about your about page or a single campaign. It's the subtext of everything: your ads, product descriptions, social captions, packaging, and even customer service tone. Let's say your brand archetype is the outlaw. You speak boldly, you challenge the norm, you use language that's raw, unfiltered, provocative. Your product experience disrupts expectations. Now imagine if that same brand used corporate tone or overly polite support scripts. The illusion breaks, the archetype collapses. Consistency is ritual. Ritual becomes belief, and belief is the root of brand religion. So before you write copy, ask, would my archetype say this? Would it look like this? Would it sound like this in a dream? 3. Visual archetyping design that speaks the symbol. Your archetype isn't just a voice, it's a visual signature. Colors, fonts, photography, layout, motion. Each one should mirror the emotional frequency of your chosen identity. These aren't aesthetic choices, they're emotional signals. The goal is archetypal congruence. When someone sees your site, packaging, or ad, they should feel the story before they read a word. Multi-touchpoint storytelling. Archetype. Across the journey, your brand doesn't exist in a single moment. It exists in fragments. Email flows, Instagram bios, checkout pages, return policies. Every one of those is an opportunity to reinforce your archetype. If your brand is a caregiver, your onboarding emails should feel warm, nurturing, maybe even handwritten. Your support page should feel like a hug, not a robot. Your packaging could include calming affirmations or tips for care. If you're the explorer, use storytelling about journeys, discoveries, or behind-the-scenes creation. Feature customer stories about adventure and transformation. Use map motifs, rugged textures, and natural imagery. When the archetype lives across every interaction, the brand becomes experiential, not just transactional. And experiential brands don't just sell, they embed themselves in memory. The brand story is a mirror. Here's the psychological magic. A brand that tells a story with an archetype allows the audience to see themselves more clearly. It's not just about what you sell, it's about what you awaken. You don't need to shout louder, you need to echo deeper. And when you do, people don't just like your brand, they follow it, fight for it, live through it. Because it's not just a product anymore. It's a part of their personal myth. So far, we've explored the language of archetypes, how to identify yours, and how to build it into your brand's DNA. But the most powerful way to understand this system, see it in action. let's examine how the world's most beloved and psychologically resonant brands embody archetypes and how they've turned symbolic identity into customer loyalty. The caregiver, Johnson & Johnson archetype traits: compassionate, protective, nurturing, core emotion. Triggered, safety, and unconditional care. Johnson & Johnson doesn't sell hygiene products, it sells trust. Its tone, visuals, and product messaging reinforce one emotion: you are safe here. From soft focus family imagery to heartfelt taglines like "for all you do," it invites a subconscious return to a caregiver's arms. Every decision, from end copy to packaging, reinforces the archetype of the loving guardian. Why it works: in times of vulnerability, a baby's birth, a scraped knee, a fever, consumers seek not features, but emotional reassurance. The caregiver archetype answers that emotional need with consistency and grace. The sage, Google archetype traits: wise, calm, objective, analytical core emotion. Triggered, clarity and enlightenment. Google isn't just a search engine, it's a symbol of omniscience. Its white space, minimalist UX and microcopy all embody the sage. It invites you to ask and promises it will reveal. The brand avoids emotional language and instead projects neutral intelligence, which, ironically, builds deep emotional trust. Why it works: in a chaotic world, clarity is a gift. The sage doesn't seduce or persuade, it empowers, and that's magnetic to people who seek certainty in an information-saturated world. The innocent, Coca-Cola archetype traits: optimistic, joyful, nostalgic, core emotion. Triggered, simplicity, happiness, belonging. Coca-Cola's most iconic ads don't feature product specs, they feature emotions: family, friendship, love, laughter, wrapped in a nostalgic glow. Its Christmas campaigns are legendary, not for sales tactics, but for tapping into the collective innocence of childhood wonder. Why it works: in a cynical world, joy is rare. The innocent archetype gives permission to feel happiness without guilt. No, to remember simpler times and to believe in good things. For the magician, Disney archetype traits: transformational, visionary, mystical, core emotion. Triggered, awe and belief in magic. Disney isn't just entertainment, it's a portal. From their iconic castle logo to the phrase, "where dreams come true," Disney promises transformation through story. You're not watching a movie, you're stepping into a world where anything can happen. Why it works: humans crave transformation, a journey from the ordinary to the extraordinary. The magician brand archetype taps into that yearning and makes the impossible feel tangible. The hero, Nike archetype traits: determined, courageous, victorious, core emotion. Triggered, strength through struggle. Nike isn't about shoes, it's about grit, struggle and triumph. "Just do it" is a war cry, not a slogan. Nike's ads feature underdogs, comebacks, pain, sweat and breakthrough. Why it works: the hero archetype connects with those who see life as a battle and themselves as warriors. Nike gives them armor and reminds them of their mission. The outlaw, Harley-Davidson archetype traits: rebel, anti-authority, raw power, core emotion. Triggered, freedom and defiance. Harley-Davidson doesn't sell motorcycles, it sells liberation. Its imagery is gritty, masculine, unapologetic. It doesn't ask for permission, it dares. Why it works: we all contain a part that wants to break the rules. The outlaw archetype gives that shadow space to breathe, and for the right audience, that's irresistible. The jester, Old Spice archetype traits: playful, irreverent, funny, core emotion. Triggered, joy through absurdity. Old Spice reinvented itself by becoming ridiculous. Surreal commercials, unexpected humor, and bold unpredictability became its identity. Its tagline, "Smell like a man, man." Its message, Don't take this too seriously. Why it works. In a market saturated with seriousness, the jester relieves tension. It earns attention by making people laugh, and laughter builds emotional bonds that outlast logic. Why these archetypes work. Each of these brands achieves more than recognition. They achieve resonance because archetypes speak to the unconscious, mind our emotional intelligence, the identity narratives we're already living. These brands don't push messages, they pull desire. They reflect who we are or who we want to become. That is the ultimate purpose of archetypal branding, to stop being just a product and become a symbol. What story are you telling? What symbol are you becoming? To build a brand that endures, you must offer more than utility. You must offer meaning. A Jungian archetype is more than a strategy. It's a bridge between commerce and soul, product and story, symbol and self. You've reached the end, or maybe the beginning. Because once you name the symbol inside your brand, you can't unsee it. If today's journey opened something in you, a mirror, a memory, a mission, don't let it fade. Subscribe for more deep dives into psychological branding, emotional design and human behavior explained. Explore the full brand psychology playlist where strategy meets soul. And remember, the most powerful brands don't sell to us, they reveal us. See you in the next video.